started this podcast, basically, this is a platform for collegiate athletes, primarily is my goal. It can branch off to high school, professional, but where I want to start is collegiate athletes because I played college football for 5 years. So I had this idea about a year ago, and I told myself eventually I was going to make it into something. And this right here is, it's me announcing the framework and the creation of that idea, basically. We're not ESPN, we're not reporters, we're not here for hot takes and drama and all that stuff. We're here for the nitty gritty. At Ace Industries, it's going to be about real, recognizing real. So one-on-one, podcasts and interviews and things like that. That's the ultimate goal that I'm trying to get whenever I'm talking to college athletes, trying to give a atmosphere and a space where those college athletes that I'm talking to can give their story and give a little bit about themselves on a personable and professional level. When we're in these podcasts and interviews, it's going to be casual, it's going to be professional too. We can do it here at the table. We can go to a location that you train at. I'm still in my prime. I just got at college football. It's not like I'm old. I'm young still. So I can do them workouts. You can go out there, do workouts, talk about ball, talk about life. We can do that. It doesn't just have to be in a table. It can be anywhere. Talk, and we're there to laugh. Do all that stuff. We're gonna break down your game. We'll break down your season. We'll break down you as a person. We'll talk about stuff that you feel comfortable with talking about in your personal life and what you want to be let known to the public and things like that. Talk about your next steps. So, for example, if you are a freshman and you're trying to put yourself out there, and maybe you weren't a true freshman, you want to let the next steps be known that, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to be training at this gym. I'm going to be doing these classes over the break to get ahead on my school. And then I'm going to be doing this and this and this. And then that's how you're going to get on the field. So basically, that's kind of just a little fragment of the idea that I'm trying to, put to light and put together for real. So there's a lot of talented athletes out there, and we see all the athletes on the big screen when it comes to the Power 4 schools and all that stuff, right? But I'm telling y'all, there's a lot of overlooked and underestimated talent that could be playing with those guys, but aren't getting those same opportunities because unlike at, Ohio State versus, let's compare it to FBS to an FCS. Ohio State compared to like Tennessee Tech. Ohio State, their media teams and everything that they got there is going to be way more involved, and it's going to be just so much more value and people doing those jobs compared to Tennessee Tech. And it's not because Tennessee Tech is a bad school. That's not why they get in more volume and value from their media takes on the football team, on the volleyball team, basketball team. It's just because the school is bigger, they have more, and they've always had more because it's a Power 4 school. And so they are known for historically being a good team. So obviously they're going to have a good media and marketing team for their athletes versus Tennessee Tech. And now I'm not saying Tennessee Tech doesn't have that, but if you was to compare their media and marketing when it comes to sports media and marketing, I bet you Ohio State has 5 to 10 more people working those interviews and those podcasts and stuff than Tennessee Tech. That's just reality. And so that's kind of why I'm doing this, because as I'm doing this, I'll be able to help people that maybe they ain't even at Tennessee Tech. Maybe they're at a D2. Maybe they're at a D3. Maybe they're the NAI. But they're setting records at their school. But they're making plays. Like, the point of what I'm doing is to try to get those people out there in the public eye in a personable but professional way. Another thing that I was going to talk about, I have people and clientele that I already know personally and that I'm going to keep talking to about it. I'm not going to say no names because, there's rules when it comes to names and likeness. And so I'm just not going to say their names quite yet. And this is only the first podcast. So there's going to be more of these in the upcoming weeks. It's about to be the new year. So, but those people, my goal with those guys that I already know is for their stories to get put out there and for people to see like how their journey was going from, you know, high school to college and even to professional. Because I know some guys who are playing professional ball right now, personally. And I think that if people got to see and hear their stories on a way more personable and professional level, it would make the collective that watches college sports look at college sports a little bit differently. And the only reason that's true is because a lot of people don't know what it's like when you're in the world of college athletics. It's a whole different ballgame, because yeah, you can be going to school and you can be working, but imagine going to school playing a college sport and working. That's basically working a full-time job, and you're getting paid for like less than half of it. If you really want to put that into perspective, that's really what that is. You go to college and then you play sports there, you're working a full-time job. They're not lying. That's what it's like. At any level, that's what it's like. Because at any level, you have to do the same things that the opponents are doing. So, say for example, you got a D1 school and a D2 school, right? D1 school, what their day probably looks like. They probably got 8 a.m. classes. They probably got scheduled meetings. They probably got scheduled weights. They probably got more scheduled meetings on top of that. And then they got practice. And then they got film over that practice. And then some of them, if they're not lucky, they might have to go to work because they got to pay for things. You look at another D2 school, it's the same thing. It's no different. In fact, there will probably be more people working at that institution than at the Power Fours, those type of schools. And those guys need to be recognized, not only for what they doing on the field, but for what they're doing off the field. It's important because not all of us are going to become professional athletes, but all of us can become personable and professional, people after college athletics. And that's, again, that's kind of the goal of what I'm doing. If you're trying to put yourself out there and you want to let it be known that, hey, I'm done playing basketball. I'm done playing football. I got all this tape. I want to declare. I want to try to go play pro. The next step of that would be to, get film, get pictures, get media, start doing some interviews, start doing some podcasts, tell the people who you are and give them your story. People don't want to just have someone, say example for in the workforce. Nobody's just going to hire you because you tell them your name and you tell them what you do. They're going to hire you after they get to know you. They're going to hire you after you open up and you share personable experiences with them, and you show what you've accomplished. It just shows, what's the word I'm looking for? If you do that, it just shows that you're not there to mess around. You're there to get to work, basically. Tristan, yes, I would absolutely do an interview with you to let the people know what it was like. Because you know what it was like. We played together. And I know you know what it was like. What was another thing I was going to say? Oh, yeah. Me personally, I played college football for 5 years. But I'm not going to sanction Ace Industries to college football. That wouldn't be fair, and it wouldn't be right. It just wouldn't make sense. Ace Industries is going to be, for football players, hoopers, wrestlers, soccer players, track and field. If you stepped on a field or a court and you want your story told, Ace Industries is for you. I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, and that's another thing about what I'm trying to do. So, like, say you coming from a JUCO, you go to a bigger school, and you got good tape, your grades are good, and your head's in the right place, everything's going the way it's supposed to be. If you trying to get an NIL deal and you hit me up and be like, hey, let's try to make this professional, personal profile for me. If you need help with that and you message me, you hit me up about that, that will be the goal if that's what you want. Because at the end of the day, if you're serious about your college and you're serious about your college sport and you want to get paid for it, you got to make it and you got to present yourself in a way that you are professional enough to handle that kind of money for playing football and going to school. Not everybody not everybody is in the right mental state to handle a 15K a semester. Say you going from one school to another. You did really good. You go into this school, they trying to give you a 10K NIL deal. Some people are not mentally ready to handle that amount of money. Some people will take that money and the first thing they'll do is cash it, like get it all in cash and go spend it. That's not what you're supposed to do when you get $10,000. If you get in $10,000, you better put that in a stock. You better invest it. And that's going to be another thing that I'm trying to teach people and college athletes when I'm doing this. It's not just going to be about, it's not about drama. It's not about who transferred where. It's not about, who got this deal. It's not about, oh, he's going to get drafted this, blah, 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 blah. It's not about that. If you are serious about trying to make it in the collegiate athlete world, you got to make it seem, you got to make it known that you are personable and that you're professional. No one's going to want to deal with you if you're out there, you posting YB and you posting all this stuff and it's just like drug related, it's gang related, all that stuff. Yeah, you can slide by and you might be able to get lucky, but if you really want to elevate yourself and you really want to be the best version of yourself, you gotta present yourself in that way. Like, it's just flat out how it is. You can't just be out there playing college sports and going to school and think, oh, I'm not going to my classes, they gonna play me, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna do this, and you posting crazy stuff on your social media. Like, you might get lucky and it might slide for a little bit, but eventually that stuff will catch up to you. I've seen so many talented guys that just fell down the rabbit hole of, I'm not gonna go to class this morning, I don't feel like it. Or, I'm not gonna go to the meeting, or I'm gonna oversleep and miss the workout. Like, things like that, you get cut. I've seen people get cut. It's real. It's no joke. And so when you're trying to be that, the best version of yourself as a college athlete, you got to be aware of those kind of things too. And when I do my next podcast, we'll see if I'll be able to get one of the people that I was talking about earlier and see if we can maybe get a dual screen with them if I can't do it in person. And if I ask them, about that, they'll say the same thing. They'll know people that talent got wasted. I just hate seeing talent get wasted, and that's why I'm doing this. I can't stand it. I can't stand when somebody falls for mediocre, like that mediocrity. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand it. Especially when you're a talented athlete and you got a good head on your shoulders, but you just fall down the wrong steps. That is very true. That is very true. And I'm glad that someone said that, because I wasn't even going to bring that up. I didn't even think about that. A lot of the times, if I go back down memory lane of my college career, I think the most stuff that happened was probably my freshman year, because a lot of those guys when I was a freshman, like, you get to school and you don't know how to act. You get there and you don't know how to act because you don't have your parents in your pocket and you don't have somebody watching you. Now, obviously, you're still in a school and there's things like campus police and there's teachers and there's coaches and there's RAs and all this other stuff. But say you go far from home. I went to a college that was 10 hours away from where I was originally living. And I think in the beginning it was a little bit hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit hard. It took me a little bit to get used to. I was buying random food. I probably wasn't eating the best. But you're right. A lot of people don't know what to do when they get that much freedom. And I think, for me personally, I think that sorry, I'm fixing my mic. I think that time is probably the best thing. Time is probably the best thing when it comes to learning how to deal with that new freedom. And then that was a good point, because a lot of the time, I'm gonna write that down. That's a great talking point. A lot of time when you 18 years old, I'm 23, right? Like I've already done college. But when I was 18 years old and I was stepping foot at Missouri Western State University, I almost didn't know what to do with myself because, like I said, when you are living with your parents, you're in your parents' pocket, right? And you going somewhere, especially if you go far from where you're living at, you might turn into a completely different person just because you're influenced by the people around you and maybe even the coaches and the teacher. Like you might end up coming back a completely different person, or you just might have a different outlook on life. It doesn't matter. But a lot of the time, what I saw when I was a freshman and I seen some of those guys that were in there with me, and some of those guys I was like this guy's good. Like he could definitely play. Maybe this year, maybe not, but definitely in a year or two. And then their grades were bad, and then I didn't see them the next semester. Or they missed too many workouts and meetings and I didn't see them the next semester. Or they did something stupid, like they put themselves at risk or they put somebody else at risk, and then I didn't see them the next semester. Like it really happens. For the people who think oh that doesn't happen, like you think you're gonna go to college and you think it's gonna be rainbow. Like if you missing workouts and you missing meetings and you not doing your schoolwork, they're gonna cut you. They're not gonna waste money on you. It's like a job. That's what it is. CJ's one of those guys. He did not fall off freshman year, and he did his schoolwork. He went to his meetings and he did what he was supposed to do, and then he ended up playing at Division II Missouri Western. Ended up going to Division I Illinois, and he had a successful career at both. Because I just hate talent when it gets wasted. I don't think it should happen ever. And I was the type of guy too, like when I was with my teammates and stuff, and I'm sure like anybody who you ask who I played with can attest to this. If somebody was down on themselves, or maybe not even down on themselves, but if somebody was doubting what the program was trying to do for them, or if somebody was like, they not necessarily not believing in themselves, but just maybe in the moment they weren't believing in themselves, if they were doing that, I would always try to like pick them back up, be like, hey, like get your head in the right spot, like just keep working, keep doing this. Like I'm never the type of person that like you just gonna give up on it because it's not working out for you in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And so I always tried to help my teammates, especially when I was a freshman and sophomore and we were all young. When I came into Mo West as a freshman, I think there was about 40 to 50. It was a crazy number. It was like they said it was the most number of freshmen like in the past, like I don't know, 5-10 years, right? There was a lot of us that year. There was like 54 or 55 something freshmen. It was so many. I think a week into camp, 8 quit. And then by the time it was my senior year at Missouri Western, from the original class that came in 2020, 2021, I think there was 4 of us. There was like 4 or 5 of us left. From 50 something people. Listen, Chad. 50 something people. It only took 4 years for it to become 4 to 5 people. And this is no joke. Like I got guys, if you want me to confirm it, I can call them and confirm it. Like no joke. We went from 50 something to 4 to 5 people. And like I said, with what I'm trying to do with Ace Industries, I think what I'm doing will help prevent that. Publicly, like going to show people that they not trying to mess around, goof around, and not be focused. They're trying to be a professional, even though they're still in college. Even though they haven't got to that point, they still trying and they're still like moving forward to being someone that's professional and personable. And like I said, that's my ultimate goal with Ace Industries. I know on Instagram, y'all can't see the acronym. I know y'all can see it on TikTok, and I know you can see it on Twitch. I'll post it on my Ace Industries profile on Instagram. But ACE, the acronym for ACE is Athletes, Competition, and Education. The reason why, obviously ACE, A-C-E, it's easy to make that the acronym. But really why that's the acronym is because those 3 things in college sports Those three things is what's going to take you throughout your college career. It don't matter if it's football, basketball, soccer. It don't matter what it is. That's what's going to take you through in your college career. Athletics. You know, if you want to be a good athlete, you got to train like a good athlete. So that goes into, you know, working out, practice, you know, rehab, you know, things like that. Taking care of your body. Competition. If you're not willing to outwork the dude that's next to you or in front of you, if you're not willing to outwork the opponent that y'all are playing against, you're gonna lose. If you're not willing to outcompete and outwork whoever's in front of you, you're gonna lose. Flat out simple. That's just how life is. And then education is the last one. Education is the most important, but the most overlooked thing. I'll say it again. Education is the most important, but the most overlooked thing in college sports, in my opinion. Y'all could say what y'all want, but I've seen it. I've seen guys not be able to be eligible because of one class. And maybe in that one class it was a couple assignments that they could have done, that they could have got ahead on. Or maybe it was because of an exam that they really did study for, but they ended up failing. And there are some safety measures put in for those situations. Like, you can take winter classes, you can take summer classes, you know, you can do that to get back on track and get back eligible. But I think that education, and it sounds corny. It sounds corny when I say it. And if you're young in high school and watching and thinking like, oh, classes don't matter, they just go play football. No. You better, if you got an in-person class, you better show up and you better talk to the professor. And you better get a good relationship with them. Because I can't tell you how many times, like, I needed extra time for something. And the only reason I got it was because I went to my classes and I paid attention to class. Sometimes I didn't even take notes. Sometimes I would just be sitting in there. But if you go into class and you pay attention, you actually talk with the professor, you know, that's what it is. That's what you got to do. You can't not go to class. You can't not do your assignments. You can't do those things. It's going to hold you back. And that's not even something that is physically holding you back. That's the big thing about it. You know, it's not going to be something that's going to physically hold you back, but it's going to be something that's going to hold you back even if you don't want it to. Just because if you ineligible, no one's going to play you. It's flat out simple. You can't break those rules. When we was in my second school that I went to, Lindsey Wilson University, we was in the playoffs. One of the teams that was in the playoffs won a game. They won a game in what was it, first round. They won their first round game. They got what's the word? They got not expelled. They got kicked out. They got kicked out the playoffs. Flat out kicked out. And it was because they were playing an ineligible player. He didn't have all his classes. Imagine you a coach and you found out one of the kids you had was ineligible, but you didn't know until after y'all won the game. They took the win away. They kicked them out. They kicked them out the playoffs. I think it was like Marian. It was Marian University or something. I don't even know because we didn't play them and I didn't care. They kicked them out the playoffs. Imagine how the player felt that got his team kicked out the playoffs. Like, I'd be appalled. I'd leave. I wouldn't stay there. Oh my goodness. I would be so mad. I would be so mad if one of my teammates got me out of the playoffs because he didn't want to do his math homework or he didn't stay on top of his grade. You know how mad I'd be if one of my teammates, oh my goodness, I can't even. I hope y'all doing good. Man, Max and Mally, those are some good receivers. I ain't gonna lie. Them two good receivers right there. Fast, good routes, great hands. And what we call them cutters. Real cutters. Real cutters. If you're watching on TikTok, Twitch, or Instagram, I really, really do appreciate y'all tuning in. Be sure to follow my Ace Industries Instagram account. It's gonna be ace._industries. That is my Instagram account. And then be sure to go ahead and follow me on my personal Instagram account, Sammy TK. Let me see what else. Oh yeah, my Twitch. My Twitch is XST2X. That is my Twitch, and so that's what I'm gonna be doing all my. I'm gonna do all my live stream. Primarily, I'm gonna do my live streams on TikTok and Twitch. Once I get to 50 subscribers on YouTube, then I'll start doing it on YouTube. And my YouTube channel is gonna be the same. It's gonna be XST2X. So feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to take all the footage from the lives that I just did on TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram. I'm gonna put them all together, throw them into a video, kind of chop it up and edit it, make it look a little bit nicer than the live video, because in the live you can kind of freestyle and take moments. But hope everybody has a blessed rest of their day, rest of their week, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you all, and let's end this year in a good way. Thank y'all.